All right, everybody, we're back here on the Wildcat Wire on Walt 1610, and I am joined by three very special guests of TRILLA G Entertainment. That's Lawrence King, Victor Allen Weeks, and Bradford Grant. Guys, thank you for coming down to the show today.
Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it.
So why don't you introduce yourselves to the audience and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, my name is Lawrence King. I'm a senior here at Davidson College, Film and Media Studies major, co-founder of TRILLA G Entertainment, as well as the TG3 rap group, and yeah, super happy to be here.
My name is Victor Allen Weeks. I'm also a co-founder of TRILLA G Entertainment. I serve as audio engineer, sound designer, mixing, mastering, beat producer, all that jazz. And yeah, I'm glad to be here.
What's up? What's up? My name is Bradford Grant. I'm a senior, Hispanic Studies major, neuroscience minor, co-founder of TRILLA G ENT, rapper, producer, and a little bit of musical engineering.
Well, great. Thank you guys so much for coming down to the show. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what TRILLA G Entertainment is and what they do?
TRILLA G Entertainment is an artist collective of a group of different individuals who contribute in terms of their creative expression. So that made that be through music, visual art, visual videography, cinematography, photography. What else? Performative arts. Yeah. So like we cover all arts and all spectrums and levels, and it's just a platform for people. Specifically right now on Davidson's campus to have a platform through which they can express their creative energy and have people to support them, and also provide, if there be present, like money opportunities for them to like actually sell their art and have gigs like to perform.
Fantastic. All right, so how did you guys get your start? How did you guys form?
Yeah. So that started when we were freshmen 3 years ago. First, I met Victor Allen when I was we had French class together. We had struck up a conversation about hip hop, and I told him that I was rapping on the side when I was 16, 17. He invited me to perform and show my skills off at an open mic, which I agreed to. That went well, and that was my initiation into his good graces. And then he introduced me to Bradford, who made beats, and then we had a whole late night session in Centel in a basement dorm room, and we just started jamming with each other. We kind of felt the chemistry between us, and then we did a 30-second snippet song for someone's SGA campaign run. Just a little rap for them. People really liked it, and then that turned into a song, which then turned into a mixtape, which then turned into us forming the group. And then the rest is history. We just did a bunch of shows and videos, and we were just inseparable from the first month of our college career. And then from there, we turned next level, which was just the three of us, into TRILLA G Entertainment when we started adding new people to the group. We had been working with artists on campus for individual projects and whatnot, and we were we should all just join forces and try to make it together, because the more people together, then we can blow up a lot faster. Glad to say it's been working out so far. I think the I Love Union video is a great example of the team effort that we've been putting in, and it's a culmination of all the things that we've done for the past 3.5 years so far. So yeah, it's been working out so far. Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on the show today was that I Love Union video, taking the campus by storm, must I say. Why don't you guys talk a little bit about that video, the inspiration behind it, and then, of course, we'll get to play the song.
But the idea was actually incited, even before that. I was our sophomore year, where we all knew about this Steph, the video that Steph Curry was a part of, the I Love Commons video, and we felt his rappers. We were that's what's representing our campus. And so we're we just want to have our own artistic flair and our own representation of, what really means a lot to us on this campus as far as dining facilities, but not just the dining facilities, the staff and the people that work there and support us, and it's not just the people in the dining facilities, it's the everyday staff, everybody. They put in so much work to make sure Davidson is a beautiful place to be, it feels like home in a way. So we want to be able to uplift them through something that we could do on a creative means and just have fun with it. That was the main idea. So we got a push from Dr. Wizzy. He was yo, y'all should really do this. Go forward with it, and if you have an idea, follow through. And that was the biggest thing, just seeing that execution over the summer. It'd be a week at a time. We put an idea into the Google Doc, and we come back to it. Sometimes we just spend hours talking on the phone, being oh yeah, we should do this, or we should do that, we should do that. Sometimes we didn't touch it for a few days, but the work that we put in building up to it, it paid off, and we hit the ground running. As soon as we got back to campus, we were like, all right, so we need to secure this date. This is the day we need to have like our videographers ready. This is the day we need to like make sure the song is like finished, like recorded and all that stuff. And so yeah, it was just like an effort of like getting that momentum and following through, which was like a beautiful thing. Is that, as we can see now, we just cracked 9,000 views, which is like an accomplishment for us. Like 9,000 views on like a grander scheme of things, may not be a lot, but we worked for very hard, and it's just really cool to see that come to fruition through, I guess, an electronic platform.
Not only is it a song, but there's also a great music video that goes along with it. Why don't you guys tell us about the process in making that video?
So as Victor Allen mentioned previously, just like the whole planning process took, a few months, and was started months before the actual shooting of the video was initiated. And then once we got back on campus, it was kind of like, okay, we got to consolidate the information and the process that we have established and see what we can execute about this. So I believe like the first things we started to film were the skits in the beginning. So if you watch the video, you see Lawrence coming down the steps in iconic Commons and having a conversation with a friend about, why would he eat at Commons. So that process, we took about like a day, like a few hours on a Saturday. And that was interesting because one of the actors, shout out Katara, one of the actors threw zucchini at the window on the light side of Commons, and they had initially told him, they gave him free, like, I guess, reign on his like creative and art, theatric display of what they wanted to see. But like we didn't like make any like set rules or standards on how he wanted to see that executed. But I mean, he took it to full power and was like, okay, tone down a little bit, but we like the energy. It's good. And then the next day we filmed in Union, and that was the main part you saw of us sitting at the table. We had the big rig out for both those days. The big rig, which was a camera on wheels, so that, the cameras you see in movie theaters that they film like moving shots. So that was what we used for that, which is really cool. Shout out Richie Tovar. He directed that. Was our main director for that, and Robert Swain also gave us a slow motion camera. So that was really cool. Anything else y'all wanna mention?
Yeah, definitely shout out to Richie for helping us plan the whole thing. We did a lot of Richie Tovar is a part of our main group, and he helped us storyboard the whole thing, kind of like draw it out, make sure that everything made sense. And then Rob McSwain came through to help us like film as well. He brought all of his toys, and like the big camera helped us get all of our slow motion shots. So without him, there wouldn't be a lot of slow motion shots that you see in the actual video, as well as the trailer that we made. So he was a big part of the filming process. Also shout out to everyone who kind of gave us their time in between the shooting, because we didn't have like as many people as we wanted in the beginning, so we just asked some people to kind of give us their like 10 minutes for like each scene. They came through and were really responsive, and then as well as the workers at Union, they were really open to like letting us film, which was awesome. And thank you to like the Commons workers for not kicking us out when we were like because we were making like a big ruckus over there. So but it was cool. Like we filmed the skit in Commons on the first day. Then we had a big like 4 or 5 hour shoot in Union to get all the main shots. Then we went to the Union in the morning to get some other shots with some Union workers that are personal friends of mine. And then we just got like some B-roll of people eating and having a good time in the Union the next day. So it was about 4 days of shooting and about 5-6 days of editing.
We was editing for a good
like a week of editing. Like a week and a half of editing. So it was like a long process, and we wanted to make sure everything was perfect, and we're just really glad that people responded to it well, and most importantly, we're really glad that Steph liked the video and retweeted about it. That was probably one of the biggest highlights out of this whole thing, so we're really happy about that.
Yeah, definitely. Steph Curry, one of the most famous former Davidson students, of course. Why don't you talk to a little bit about why that was significant that he reached out in terms of the original video?
Oh man, so it's interesting because we were trying to figure out how could we amplify this to like the greatest potential to reach like a very huge audience. And so we're like, well, perhaps we could talk to this person, talk with college communications, talk with President Quillen, talk with Dean McCrae, who are like the people who help run the school and make sure, I guess, things get delegated in a proper way that we can like push it to so they can like back us. But like we posted it on social media, and then we didn't really like do much to it. And then the school ended up like retweeting it and like sharing it on their different platforms. We were like, wow, we didn't expect that, which is really cool. It's like an affirmation, I guess, like them acknowledging the work that we've put in, because we've been at this like since day one, like at Davidson. Like we've really, like every semester we've had a project. We've done a show almost every semester, except for like the semesters that were, like one of us were abroad or something like that. But like we've really been putting in work, and so for the school to back us and say, hey, look, we're supporting y'all in this, and like we're supporting y'all, supporting, I guess, other artists as well. That was really beautiful. And then we were just going through, just talking about logistics and our next plans of attacks for like how we could push it. And so somebody posted in our TRILLA G ENT group chat, like a screenshot of like Steph, like it was retweet, and I was like, what the. And so I'm looking at it, and I was like, Lawrence, and then all he saw was Steph, and then we just like start freaking out, and we just like yelling like, oh my God, like my phone gets thrown, and we're just like on the floor like, what, this is happening, like we didn't do anything. And then Bradford calls, he's like, did you see that? And it was just like so much energy, but it was cool because, you know, like it just kind of took a life of its own. We really planned on pushing it, but just to see how organically it happened was just like a beautiful thing. You know, we put our all, we gave it to the universe, and it returned that favor, and that was just beautiful.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic music video. I recommend all of our listeners check it out. That's just search I Love Union on YouTube. Again, you guys just hit over 9,000 views, correct?
9.1.
Congrats. Yeah, no, it's a fantastic video. Especially if you know anything about Davidson College, the debate between food locations is always raging here. I will say I think I'm a late night Union fan more so than Commons. But yeah, absolutely. All right, so you guys are all three seniors here. What do you guys hope to do after you leave Davidson?
Well, what I plan to do after I leave Davidson is to eventually attend PA school, which is physician assistant school. But I know I'll take a gap year or two just to like get my classes in order that I need to take in addition for the requirements. Also some of my community service work and get some work experience in general to get my feet wet in that department. So before I can really matriculate into PA school, I have to get that situated. But I mean, the end goal is to be a PA. But I know I want this business still to be alive and kicking while I am gone, or if I'm not physically a part of the decisions being made, if I'm too busy for like whatever I'm doing in like 10, 20 years from now, but I still want this to be existent on campus.
Yeah, for me, after school's over, I'm done with school. I don't want to go back anytime soon. I like, this is what I love, like music and film, and what we're doing with the company is exactly like the creation of like what I'm trying to do, the idealized dream. So I want to like do everything I can to make this company as legitimate as possible and as successful as possible while we're still students. So right now it's kind of up in the air how successful we'll be. So we're taking it one day at a time and trying to build up our networks and recruit enough people and see where we go from there. If things don't go as fast as we want it by the time I graduate, right now I'm trying to get a job through Venture for America. They're like an entrepreneurship company, and if all goes well, I mean, it's the final round. Hopefully, I'll be able to work at a startup for like a couple of years, and they'll let me work on my side projects, which would be this. So I'll be able to fund that, my true passion, and that would be really great. And if that doesn't work out, then I'll go back to Brooklyn and work at a film company or a broadcasting company, and still it would just be to like a stopgap to like fund this thing. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So we're just gonna keep pushing with this, keep making music, keep making movies and films, and keep recruiting and working with small businesses and everything. But ultimately, this is my dream, so I just want to like take it from where it started here and then make it like a global thing that has like, you know, positive impact and spreads like hope and positivity through the art that we create, the individual art that's meaningful to us. So that's my dream. Yeah.
Most definitely making sure the TRILLA G ENT brand lives on, not just on Davidson's campus, but as Lawrence mentioned, globally, because, you know, this is something that like art and just like creative expression transcends so many different barriers. Like when you have a foundation that you can express yourself and not be like, that can't be taken from you. It's such a beautiful thing to see different people connect on so many different wavelengths from so many different walks of life and come together and say, hey, we want to put this creative project together. They present it, they create it, and it becomes like its own like real life entity, like that's just a beautiful thing. So post Davidson, making sure that I can do all I can do to contribute to make sure that the business lives on, the name lives on, and others are inspired to continue to grow in their passions. But also my plan is to be back in Atlanta, working with youth, middle school, high school students, because like that's like where I come from. Like the arts are underfunded and also like just pushed to the side. But that was something like that was pivotal for me to be able to have an avenue where I could hone that focus and not have too much idle time, so I could like do something productive and continue to grow in like a different way, even if it wasn't just academics. Like it allowed me a space to continue to grow as an individual and just like build my connections, how I interact with people, and it's a beautiful thing. So I want to give that back to my community while also being able to work on a sustainable agricultural initiative I have going on down on Sapelo Island with the Geechee community there, which is really cool. But yeah, just like community service is just like giving back all that was given to me and even more. So yeah.
Well, that's very powerful. Thank you all three of you for coming down to the show. Again, you're always welcome here anytime you want to stop by or have a new project you want to plug. Again, so best of luck as you wrap up senior year.